Hey friends, my name is Allie and I'm going to be guiding us through this yoga practice today. So we're going to be doing more of a Hatha Flow. So we're going to start off a little bit flowy, activating the body, increasing the heart rate, and then we're going to slow it down into longer hold times of poses, which I find to be beneficial for flexibility and also beneficial if you're really into the gym and you just had a really good workout. So let's get started, and we'll start sitting in a comfortable seated position. You can either be on your knees or cross-legged, however is comfortable for you. And allow your back to be straight and your hands palms face down on your knees, and just close your eyes and take a moment to feel your natural breath as it flows in and out of the body. And maybe just taking this time to set an intention for your practice. And when you've set that intention, you can softly open your eyes. And we'll do a couple neck rolls. Maybe just rolling your head in one direction. And then the opposite direction. And then back to center, and you can lift your head and lift your arms up over your head, and then we'll drop the right one down and we'll start to fold over that right arm, either staying on your palm or coming down on your forearm, whichever you prefer. And we're stretching out the side body. And you can allow your gaze towards the ceiling. Breathing in and breathing out. And then you can release that arm and raise the right arm, allowing a deeper stretch on the right side body. And then you can release. And then we'll pick up our right foot and we're going to cradle it like we're cradling a baby. And try to allow your spine to stay straight, and then just bring your foot back and forth to allow the hip to open. You're welcome to stay in stillness and maybe pull it in closer to your body or back and forth, whichever you prefer. And try to roll your shoulders down your back. And then you can release, and we'll switch to the other side, picking up the left foot. And then again, either rocking back and forth or pulling in close to your body. And then you can set it down. And we'll take our right foot, we'll leave our left foot into the body, and then we will take our right foot and pull it over that left knee, and we'll take our left elbow to our right knee, and then our right hand's going to be at the base of our spine, and then we're going to twist, gazing over our right shoulder. And then back to center, and we'll switch sides. So bending that right knee and foot near our glute, and then taking our left leg over and our right elbow to the left knee, and then our left hand to the spine. And then you can come back to center. And we're gonna come to all fours for some cat and cow. So allow your hands to be directly under your shoulders, your knees about hip width distance apart and under your hips. And then we're gonna inhale, dropping the belly, gazing at the ceiling for cow. And then exhale, rounding the spine, gazing between our legs for cat. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Maybe one more time, dropping the belly. And then one more time, exhaling to cat. And then back to a neutral spine. And we'll lift the right foot out long behind us. And you can either stay here or lift the left hand as well. And then you can release. And then we'll lift the left leg and then the right arm. And then back down. And then we'll thread the right arm underneath the left arm, allowing our right shoulder to come to the ground and maybe our right ear to come to the ground. And then you can stretch this left hand long. Continuing to breathe. And then back to center. And then taking the left hand and going through to the other side, dropping our left shoulder and our left ear. And then reaching long with that right hand. And then back to center, and we'll push back into our first downward dog. So allowing your fingers to be spread wide apart, maybe allowing your knees to be bent, maybe walking your feet or adding some movement into your hips. Maybe dropping one heel and then the other. And then you can walk to the front of your mat and a forward fold. Maybe grabbing each other's elbows, or opposite elbows rather. And maybe being like a rag doll and just going back and forth. Or just being still, whichever you prefer. And then you can drop your hands and we'll do a halfway lift. And then an exhale, forward fold. And then you can inhale and raise the arms. And then exhale and bring the palms to heart center. Just standing in Tadasana or mountain pose for a couple breaths. And during this practice, you want everything to be engaged. So allow your glutes to be engaged, allow your legs to be engaged. And if you don't want to lock out your legs, just have, a little micro bend in those knees. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale our arms up, and then exhale, swan dive forward to forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale to chaturanga, so plank. And then inhale to upward dog or cobra. And exhale to downward dog. Staying here for 5 deep breaths. And on your next exhale, bend the knees and allow the heels to raise, and then step forward to a forward fold. And then inhale to halfway lift, either hands on the shins or just up on your fingertips. And exhale, forward fold. And then inhale to rise. And exhale to heart center. Just taking a resting breath. And then again, inhaling the arms, maybe a slight back bend, and then exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, halfway lift, and exhaling, chaturanga. Exhaling to go down, inhaling to upward dog or cobra, and exhaling to downward dog. Staying here for 5 deep breaths, allowing your fingers to be wide, spread apart. Maybe you have a slight bend in your knees, or maybe they're straight. One more deep breath in and exhale. And then come forward to the top of your mat in a forward fold, and then a halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold. And then you can inhale your arms up and exhale to heart center. Just taking a moment. And then we will come into tree pose. So allowing your left leg to be sturdy and strong, rooted to the ground. And then taking your right foot and either coming to the ankle, leaving it on the floor, maybe your calf, or maybe above the knee, whatever's more accessible for you. And then maybe starting with your hands in prayer, or you're welcome to grow your branches or come into cactus arms. And again, allow that left leg to be strong and sturdy, and your glutes should be activated. And then when you're ready, we're going to release the right leg, but we're going to keep it lifted, and then just interlock your fingers like right underneath the knee, and then pull that right leg into your body. And then we'll keep the knee lifted and bring our hands to our hips and just extend that leg in front of you. Just focusing on your balance and your standing leg. And you can exhale and release. Maybe shake out the legs. And then we'll go to the second side. So we'll start with tree pose. And wherever you feel most comfortable. And then bringing the hands to where you feel are most accessible. And just staying here for a couple of breaths. And then we'll exhale and release our leg and hug our knee into our body. And then our hands to our hips and release that leg out long in front of you. And then back down to the floor and maybe shake out the legs again. And then we'll come into eagle pose. So you can have your feet together and we'll bend the knees kind of like you're going to sit down in a chair or like you're going into chair pose. And we're gonna lift the right foot and then just bring it over the left foot. And you can either allow it to touch the ground or you can wrap it behind you. And then we'll inhale our arms up. And as we go down, we're gonna bring the right arm underneath the left and twist our arms so our palms are going to face each other. And maybe slowly move your hands away from your face. And then you can slowly unwind. Maybe again, shake out the legs. And then when you're ready, sit back like you're sitting in a chair. And this time we'll take the left leg over the right. And then we'll inhale our arms up, and this time our left is gonna go underneath. And just know that there's typically one side that is less flexible or less sturdy, but hopefully over time things will balance themselves out. And you can move your hands slowly away from your face. And then you can slowly unwind, coming back to center, maybe shaking out those legs. And then we'll come into a wide-legged stance and bring your hands to your hips and allow your glutes to be engaged and your back to be straight. And then just fold over and down and maybe drop your hands like right under your shoulders. And then we'll take the hands to the right, leaving our feet exactly where they are. And then we'll take them over to the left. And then back to center. And we're going to point our feet towards the right side of the room. So our right foot will be pointed forward. And then our left foot is going to be at a 45. And we're going to turn our body coming into warrior one. So your front knee will be directly over your right ankle, and then your back foot is going to be kind of at a 45, and you want to try to allow your hips to be in line with your front foot. And then you can bring your hands to heart center, and we're going to hook the left arm on the front knee. And we'll twist, gazing over our right arm. And then you can come back to center, raising the arms. And then we'll go down back into that forward fold, or that wide-legged forward fold. And then we'll do the opposite side. So turning the left foot towards the front of your mat, the back foot at a 45. And then we'll come into warrior one on the opposite side. And then palms together, bringing that right elbow on the outside of your left knee, gazing over your left shoulder. And then you can come back down into that wide-legged forward fold. And then we'll just turn our feet, framing the front foot. And we're gonna step back into plank. And then lower down. And inhale to upward dog or cobra. And exhale to downward dog. And then you can inhale that right foot up, and we're going to bring knee to nose. Inhale up and back, knee to nose. And then inhale up and back, knee to nose. And then we'll drop that foot in front, and we'll drop our back leg. And then we can raise our arms. And you kind of want to feel like your front foot and your back knee are pulling away from each other to allow a deeper stretch. And you can release your hands, and we're going to bring them on the inside of our right foot, so you can scooch that foot out a little ways. And we're going to come into lizard's pose. So you're welcome to stay on your hands or go down to your forearms or on blocks. However, you do want your heart to be open. So if you go down on your forearms and feel like you're collapsing, then come back up on your hands. And we can turn your right foot out at like a 45 degree towards the corner of the room. And then bring your right hand to your right thigh or knee. And then just put a little pressure there to allow a little bit more of a hip opener. And we're going to stay here for quite a few breaths. And try to allow your shoulders to relax down your back. And maybe focus on something in front of you. And then we'll bring our leg back to center. And we're going to come into a half split. So you can straighten that leg. You can allow your toes to come off the mat, and you can stay upright, or you can fold over as far as you can over that front foot, and you should feel it in the IT band area. And then you can fold back into that knee, and we'll come into pigeon pose. So you can allow your leg to drop down, and your knee is going to be pretty close to your right wrist. And make sure that back leg is straight. And you can either stay up and allow your heart to be open and active, or you can fold down over your hands and allow your head to rest on the floor or the mat. If you're looking for a deeper stretch, you can go ahead and lift your left foot, and then we're going to take our right hand and swing it behind, grabbing the outside of that foot and gazing over our right shoulder. And then you can release. And we're going to step back into downward dog. Just take a couple breaths here. And when you're ready, you can lift the left leg, and then we'll bring knee to nose. And up and back. Knee to nose, and then one more time, up and knee to nose, and then we'll step our foot between our hands and we'll drop that back knee, and then inhale your arms up, and try to drop your shoulders back as well. And then you can release your hands and release them on the inside of that left foot, and you can slide your left foot out, coming into lizard's pose. And again, taking the variation that suits you best, and maybe that's opening the foot towards the left side, and then taking your left hand to your left leg to open the hip, and gazing over that left shoulder. And then releasing, coming back to center, and then coming into pigeon on the left side. And again, taking the variation that suits you. And if you want to take the deeper variation, you can take your left hand to that back foot, gazing over your left shoulder. And then you can release, and we'll come back into downward dog. Just staying here for a breath or two. And then maybe coming into child's pose, but still allowing your arms to be long. And then you can come up, and we'll come to sitting, and we're going to come into boat pose. So allowing your back to be straight, your heart to be open, and maybe starting with your knees bent, and then we're going to be balancing on our butt. So you can pick up your feet, and then maybe allow your arms to be straight out in front of you. And if you feel confident and comfortable, you can straighten your legs. remember to breathe here. And then you can exhale and bring your knees into your chest. And we're going to do that one more time. So when you're ready, and exhale, knees into your chest. And then you can come to laying on your back. And we're going to come into bridge pose. So allowing your feet to be close to your butt. And then your shoulders to support you, so your head and your neck are being supported and not too much weight on the neck. And then when you're ready, you can inhale your hips up, and if you have to, you can slide your shoulders more underneath you, and then you can interlock your fingers. And then you can release down and maybe just take a breath. And then we'll come into a shoulder stand. So you can pick your feet up and you can start to roll, and maybe allow your hands to support you on your back. And then again, just make sure there's not too much pressure on the neck and the head, and then it's more in the shoulders. And just allow your feet to be straight up. Maybe flexing your feet towards your face, or maybe coming down with your feet to touch the ground behind you. And you can also bring your knees towards your ears. And then when you're ready, you can bring them back up and then release slowly down to the floor. And just taking a resting breath. And then we'll come into happy baby. So taking a hold of the outside of your feet, laying your neck and your head and shoulders back down to the ground, and maybe just rolling from side to side. And maybe stretching the right leg straight. And then releasing and stretching the left leg long. And then releasing, and then maybe stretching both legs like a V. And then releasing. And you can release your feet down to the floor. And we'll pick our right foot up and bring it on top of our left leg. And then we're going to interlock our fingers behind the left leg, coming into a supine pigeon pose. And just allow your neck and your shoulder to relax back down to the floor, and just act like you're pulling that leg into your body. And then you can release, and we'll take the right leg all the way across the left leg, and you can either let it dangle or you can hook your toes. And we're going to take the left hand and we'll just bring our legs over to the left side, and our right hand's going to be out long, and we can just gaze over our right fingertips. And then back to center, and you can bring both knees into the chest, maybe giving them a big hug. And then you can set it down, and we'll take the left foot over the right, and then we'll interlock our fingers behind the right thigh, and again relax your head and your shoulders down, and pulling that leg into our body. And you can release and bring that left foot all the way over, and then we'll take our right hand, pulling our legs to the right side, and our left hand out long, gazing over our left fingertips. And then back to center, hugging our legs into our body, and then we can set them down. And we'll take the left foot over the right, and we're gonna have it come closer to our midline. So it's gonna be like a half lotus pose. And then we're gonna take our right foot straight and the foot pointing towards the ceiling. And then we're just gonna grab a hold of our right leg. And you can either hug that leg into your body, or you can be a little more loose and allow your neck and your shoulders to relax down to the floor. And then release. And we'll switch sides. So bringing that right foot up into that half lotus pose. And then lifting our left foot and either hugging our left foot into our body or just relaxing our head and shoulders down and maybe flexing the toes towards our head. And then you can come down and maybe just windshield wiper your legs from one side to another. And then you can come into Shavasana, our final pose, allowing your feet to be mat width distance apart, and maybe allowing your feet to splay out towards the outside. Your hands away from your body, allowing a natural curl in the fingertips, and just closing the eyes. Coming back to your natural breath. Feeling your stomach as it rises and as it falls. Relaxing your entire body. maybe taking a moment to notice the positive benefits of this practice. And when you're ready, maybe rolling on to your right side of your body, coming into the fetal position, maybe allowing your right hand to rest underneath your head. And then when you're ready, coming back up to a seated position, keeping the eyes closed. And bringing the hands to the heart center and bowing the head. Maybe showing some gratitude towards yourself for showing up here today, for showing up for yourself, for showing up for me. Be grateful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings be free from suffering. Namaste.